Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
We have Pastor John Kilpatrick, who is preaching a sermon to his congregation members, which is predominantly a sea of them folks because the church is in the Deep South, Mobile, Alabama. He is giving them a lesson on how Black people should be treated and why. Take a look at this.
I think back on the African American people in America. I think how that they were taken against their wills, put in the belly of ships, brought over here, beat, cussed. Many of them died in the guts of those ships, thrown overboard. They were pulled from families over there. If you're one of those people that you got problem with Black people or whatever, you better shut your mouth, because they're God's people. You better hear what I'm saying to you. You better shut your white mouth. I know some of you was raised in the Deep South and you was raised by prejudiced people and bigoted people. You better get that out of your system. You better get it out of your system. It'll cause you to suffer right along with those masters. These are God's people. God knows what happened to the Black race. He knows how they wound up over here, and God is going to reimburse the Black people for all their trouble and all their labor.
This pastor said, you better shut your white mouth, and these are God's people, and that is so right. Now, let's look at this congregation. It is predominantly a sea of them folks. And they look like they have this fake news smile and fake news clapping when they're probably really saying in their mind, not our pastor who looks like us from the Deep South telling us that we shouldn't be racists. Now, I'm not suggesting all of the people in there are racist, but the Deep South is known to be a racist part of the United States. And the fact that he is addressing it, probably because he knows it. There is, the vast majority of them being racist. But man, oh man, their expressions and that clapping, we know that is not at all genuine. I wish I was a fly in the corner somewhere so I can see the real reaction and get a good kiki out of it. This was epic. Now let's talk about the slave masters. Back when they were they had their slaves, they would use scripture to get their slaves to obey them and say, Ephesians 6:5-8 says that you have to obey me. If you want to get to heaven, you've got to obey, because this is what the Apostle Paul said in that passage. Slaves must obey their masters and have the same heart as they would Christ. And so the slave masters would use this. But if you travel through the scriptures, the same apostle in Colossians 4:11 says that the slave masters must treat the slaves fairly and justly, because they too, they're going to meet God and they're going to have to account for their behavior towards God's people. So this pastor is making it clear. The slave masters, using that scripture in Ephesians, does that also include hanging, lynching, burning at the crisp, taking our teeth, SA, selling us, and all of the other ways that our ancestors were treated? Absolutely not. But with them not having access to the word, and some of them not even, having any education and being able to read, were reliant upon what the slave masters were saying. And they were all, for the most part, God-fearing people. So if the slave master is saying, this is in the scripture, you better do this or you're going to be ushered into hell, they're obeying. But I tell you, this was epic. And I didn't, there wasn't much more to the video. I wish I could have seen more, but this was a really good one. Let me know what you all think about this pastor and what he said to the congregation. And do you think that this congregation was really taking it in and has decided, oh, I'm going to go out and not be a racist anymore? Because how do you really take racism out of a racist, right? So let me know what you think about this. Drop some comments in the chat. And also don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel, EA Public Relations. Until next time, please be safe, everyone. Peace be.